Hey K-popers, and welcome back to Hallyu, where it's time for a brand new K-pop news update. You'd think we'd be slowing down in the news cycle at this time of year, but Cube Entertainment had other ideas. CLC looks to be heading for disbandment after Elkie's departure, BtoB's Ilhoon is being investigated by the police, SM dug up the aespa plagiarism controversy once again, and a whole bunch more. Before we get started, a quick thank you to Hallyu's honorary producers. If you want to be on this list and show off your bias group to everyone watching, you can support my work on Patreon. Patrons also have a say in lots of videos before they're released, so if you want to leave your mark on Hallyu, come join us over on Patreon. Alright guys, let's jump right in. This is your K-pop news update for December 27th, 2020. Let's start with the biggest and saddest news of the week, which was that Elkie is leaving CLC. I did make a breaking news video within hours of this letter being made public, however there have been some updates and some clarified translations here, so let's talk about where things are at right now. As I said in the video, Elkie has hired a law firm to request contract termination with Cube Entertainment. The main grounds here consist of two pieces, the first being that she was not paid for her acting activities. The second piece, which we now have more clarification on, is this statement from the letter, which says, quote, "Due to your company's management and structural changes, your company clearly informed CLC members that you would no longer support CLC's group development in 2020. Originally, this was interpreted as February 2020, but has since been corrected, and I also want to apologize for misunderstanding that translation in my video. Unfortunately, what I said in that video still stands. Cube has told all the CLC members, presumably late this year after the helicopter promotions, that they aren't going to be supporting CLC as a group any longer. There's no hard deadline for anything to happen with CLC from what we can see in the letter, but it certainly feels like it's just a matter of time before the group dissolves. I would be very surprised if Elkie is the only member to file for contract termination given this information, as it's clear Cube has fully given up on CLC. We don't know much about how the individual members feel at this point, but I would like to hope that they want to remain together in some capacity. There is a small hope that they all recognize that Cube is the problem and the reason for their lack of activities, and that it could be better under another label like, say, Rainbow Bridge World, Big Hit, P Nation, or Happy Face Entertainment. Whatever comes out of this, I really hope all CLC members can find some sort of peace and collectively decide on some next steps for their careers. They all deserved a lot better from Cube. Okay, now let's talk about BtoB's Ilhoon, because there were some bombshell reports made recently from Channel A and some other sources about significant marijuana use by the idol, spending upwards of $90,000 on it over the course of a few years. Now, let me just start by saying I think every one of us is going to have a different view on this depending where we all live. I personally live in a country where weed is legal and does not have much of a stigma at all. But in Korea, it is a banned substance, and the general public there views it in a very negative light. And the reports allege that several acquaintances of Ilhoon's have observed him smoking over the past few years. This is also backed up by a hair follicle test result and by circumstantial evidence that shows Ilhoon used cryptocurrency for his purchases to hide any paper trail. Cube Entertainment initially issued a statement that quite literally just said, quote, "We have no idea about Ilhoon having a drug scandal." However, they then made a follow-up statement after talking to Ilhoon where they acknowledged that he is being investigated by the police for drug-related charges. As I mentioned, this may seem like something that shouldn't even be a big deal to some of us, but in Korea it is a huge deal, and this is a massive blow to Ilhoon and BtoB's public image and reputation. It's going to be a very difficult hole to climb out of for the group and for Cube, who now has two groups in serious trouble after an awful week. SM has reopened the aespa can of worms this week, addressing the plagiarism controversy seemingly weeks after it had finally blown over. In case you're not aware of the situation, definitely check out this previous news video for all the details, but essentially SM copied several scenes and sets from artists without their consent in aespa's debut music video, most notably the German artist Timo Helgert. SM released a statement on the 22nd saying the following: "We contacted the artist and company that are being mentioned related to some scenes in the aespa Black Mamba music video, and we spoke with them while explaining our planning intentions and the group's world story. The artist and company understood our agency's planning and production process, and they confirmed that they have no objections to the music video scene." Now, I'm gonna call some BS on how this is being portrayed by SM, because when SM says, "we spoke with them," it sounds benign, but you can be sure that there were lawyers on both sides present. I can almost guarantee that the discussions ended in a private settlement with SM paying the artists for using their work, especially since SM decided to frame it as the artists having no objections to the MV scene. Of course not, they object to having their work used without payment and credit, not the actual scene. Anyways, hopefully this saga is now finally over and aespa can get started on their first comeback with a clean slate in 2021. Alright, now let's switch over to the new releases that we got this week. With the holiday season upon us, almost all the new music was from soloists. We'll start with Kyung, Hoon, and Super Junior's Heechul, who are back at it again along with Bibi in the song Hanryang. Show Me the Money 9 released this CF for the brand Nepa called Reverse. Jukjae and Vix's Hyuk collaborated on the beautiful song Camellia. Baekhyun showed off his incredible vocal range in this live clip for Amusement Park. Jung-hwa got help from Hwasa and DPR Live in her latest track, Hop In. 10cm is back with Winter Breath, a soft, soothing song for the holidays. Lovelyz and Golden Child members got together for this wonderful acoustic and self-composed song called Under the Suncheon Sky. Geary Boy released It Was Love this week, a great track for some low-key listening. And last but not least, we have Baekhyun with her new song, I Need You. There were lots of other new K-pop songs released this week too, so let me know what new songs you've been enjoying down in the comments. My pick for this week is the Lovelyz and Golden Child collab Under the Suncheon Sky. It's a beautiful song filmed in a gorgeous landscape. And now back to the news, where IU has once again proven her golden heart with a 100 million won donation to the Child Fund Korea. This works out to about $91,000 and it will support children who are in need and being raised by their grandparents. That brings IU's charitable donation total to nearly 1 billion won, or nearly $750,000 just this year. Itzy has revealed that all 4 tracks from the Not Shy mini album will be getting English versions. The new tracks will be dropping in late January. Some great news for Chungha this week, as she has been released from the COVID-19 quarantine facility where she's been staying since her positive test. In MNH's statement, they revealed Chungha has been asymptomatic and has returned home after 11 days in quarantine. Guhar's brother has had a small victory in the courts this week, in which they modified the split of Guhar's estate to 6-4 instead of an even split between him and Guhar's mother. In my view, this is still way too much for a mother who did nothing to raise her children, and thankfully with the Guhar Act passing recently, we shouldn't see situations like this in the future. We had about 15 minutes of speculation that Taeyeon and Ravi are dating when a Joy News 24 report stating they had been dating for a year came out early this morning. The report showed pictures of the two idols leaving Ravi's building, however SM came out within minutes denying any dating rumors and stating that Taeyeon and Ravi worked together frequently on their music. Either way, it was fun while it lasted. According to a statement from SM, NCT's Taeyong has had his herniated disc relapse, so unfortunately Taeyong will be absent from activities in the near future. This includes the Beyond Live NCT Resonance concert. Sunmi took to Instagram to thank Jessica for a generous Christmas gift. Jessica gifted Sunmi a beautiful outfit from her Blanc and Eclair fashion line. It's really great to see these idols supporting each other. JYP has stated that they are still discussing GOT7 member Jin Young's contract renewal. I know there's been a lot of wild things said about GOT7 lately, but I wouldn't be too worried about the group. The key thing here is that Jin Young's desire to do more as an actor has been growing over the years, as he's seen some great early success there. So likely this is the sticking point in trying to find a balance between acting and still being part of a group. The KMCA, who are behind the Gaon charts, revealed the top 10 digital songs based on streaming and downloads this year. Red Velvet Psycho is the only group song to make the list, with IU taking 2 spots and Zico taking the #1 spot with any song. BTS's Dynamite has earned a platinum streaming certification in Japan. This is a first for any Korean act and the second for any artist in the world, with the only other artist to do so being Ed Sheeran for the song Shape of You. And speaking of milestones, Blackpink's The Album passed 1 billion streams this week on Spotify. This is also a first for a Korean female act's album. Dispatch revealed this week that 17 were treated pretty badly by KBS in preparation for the KBS Gayo festival. After they were tested for COVID-19 preemptively, KBS still called them in for a rehearsal even though they were supposed to quarantine regardless of the test results. The members had to stand by for 4 hours until the performance was finally called off. Rainbow Bridge World has announced that Purple Kiss member Swan will be returning to the group. She had been on hiatus due to some health concerns. Billboard revealed their critics' picks for the 20 best K-pop songs of 2020. It's an excellent overall list, and topping it at number 1 is Everglow's La Di Da. And would you look at who's at number 17, my biased group April. I guess Billboard stands talent after all. Twice's Jungyeon shared a positive update with Onces this week. She joined a V-Live chat and shared that though there was a lot that she couldn't do this year, she'll be back doing double the amount next year. Jungyeon has been dealing with a neck injury and anxiety and has missed some activities recently. Now let's end the last bit of K-pop news from 2020 on a good note, shall we? Red Velvet's Wendy is returning to activities. Her return will be on a new music talk show on JTBC called Mysterious Record Shop. She'll be alongside Super Junior's Kyung, Jun Jong-shin, and Jang Yoon-jung. Alright, now let's talk about the lack of music shows this week. As with last week, many broadcasters have shut down for the end of the year, and so only M Countdown had a broadcast this week. On M Countdown, it was IZ*ONE taking their 5th win for Panorama. As usual, Gayo did still crown a winner despite not having a broadcast though, and this week it was Taeyeon taking her first win for What Do I Call You. Now we did also get the SBS Gayo Daejeon Music Festival this week, which featured lots of great performances of recent comebacks and some covers of classic songs like Tiara's Roly Poly. Definitely check them out if you have some extra time over the holidays. Alright K-popers, for the last time in 2020, you are officially caught up on everything going on in the K-pop world. Let me know what new songs and what news items stood out to you down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching along with every news update this year, and I look forward to the news that I'll be bringing you every single week in 2021. And if you want to stay caught up with the K-pop world while having a ton of fun every week, make sure you're subscribed to Hallyu.